The ceiling is wet. Something is leaking. Again, the A key on my typewriter gets stuck. This heat is spoiling all of my stuff. I notice the empty crystal glass next to the typewriter and trade places from a writer to a bartender. I assume position in the kitchen, letting hot dark liquor slosh from the bottle. I pour 2 inches for me to coddle in between my prose. I should be drinking water, but the tap went bad after the last storm. It's only been 3 days, but I feel like I've sweated more. I make back from my poor lit desk. No electricity and a manual typewriter. Moved it under the window to get all the light I could from a break in the branches exposing the moon. It only works as well as you'd assume. I bleed about 3 words onto the paper, and it's that awful smell again. It was here before around noon, and I figured the wind was catching the swamp, but this time it smelled more like a dead animal. That, or the ghost of Hannibal, was breathing in the corner. But the corners were a void of still shadows and dust, scattered carcasses of cockroaches and mosquitoes, abandoned by their kind in open caskets on my wood floors. My house, a cemetery for limp insect, dead and forlorn. It wasn't them who could disembowel such a sickening smell. Something with flesh was decaying nearby. Coincidentally, the tea key was suddenly tacky, and a film of clouds muffled the moonlight. The room flushed with the night. The space became edgeless, obscured in black, the kind of dark that feels more alive than yourself, my bloodless body no longer itself. I needed another drink. I went shuffling back to the kitchen, this time taking the whole bottle as well, a candle and a match. I came right back, sinking into my desk, candlelight allowing a brief detach from the thickness of midnight, but not from this heat. This spoiling heat and eternal fever. It inebriated me more than the liquor. The flame from the candle flickered, and there was that foulness again. An aroma that could react with the fire, feeding on oxygen and taking it from the air, making the flame dance. And I could taste it this time. A moldy sweet, like rotting squash and human waste. A diseased taste. I could no longer evade the odor, for it had leached into every breath and every pocket of space. I must find it, that soiled smell. I shuffled back to the kitchen. I foraged the pantry and pale cupboards, the stark fridge with rusted hinges, and the trash that was shockingly empty, except for bottles devoid of substance. A sad reflection of my own illness, as I forget ever drinking them. I turned towards the hallway, a trench of black extending to the bathroom. I reached my room first, the door with a broken lock and peeling paint, but the bedroom door scratched open, and the smell was almost non-existent in my quarters. Just square window frames framing the guts of the exterior night beyond my walls. A hidden world staring back at me. It came with that eerie sense of being seen. Though the seclusion of my property did raise curiosity on what would be watching. I could pick out that stench more now. It was further down the hallway, towards the end of the tour, towards the bathroom. I mumbled a curse as I felt my way towards the end of the hall, my hand searching for the knob until surprising me with its appearance. It was waxy to the touch, and the carpet floor felt wet under my socks. The air was heavier here with that smell, as well as my body, the weight of it dragging my limbs and soddening my clothes. I checked the bathroom, but the space lay normally. Nothing out of place, matches still where I had them on the toilet head, which I took for light to shed on the layers around me. I struck a match, and then a flashing glimpse, but only for a second until the spark suffocated and I asked it to relight again. And then again, until one fought for me longer and revealed a henna stain at the edge of my feet on the hallway carpet. A spill of something I don't remember taking part in, at least so I thought, until looking above me to see the ceiling mirroring a similar stain. But this one was dripping. Tiny beads of black festering before falling, inches from my face. It was in the attic. The attic door, too, was in this corridor, between the bathroom and bedroom. I pulled the rope to its canopy. The attic descended itself to me, and the stench smothered me instantly. Oh, it was beyond vile, a stairway to some cavity of hell, and my drunken body would find some reason to climb up, though it was enough to strangle me here, at the edge of the ladder and middle of my home. I had to look, and with each dragging limb I ascended into the mantle above, where the heat begins to bake you from the inside out. Your eyes gloss over like premature cataracts, and your pores start to fill with a glue-like feeling. And as I came nearing the top of the steps, I struck a match and held my breath. What did I see? An empty crystal glass was laying on its side on the attic floor. Consumed cans of food were discarded and attracting ants, ones I had bought years before, and there in the corner was an old chair I thought I threw out, but there it resurfaced once more. And it wasn't up here alone. Do you see that? There is something in it, but more so, in this sense, as soon to reveal. The remnants of not something, but someone. A body mutilated by heat in the most unsettling way. Sunken eyes, sinking gums and loose teeth. Skin melted into armrests, feet melted into floorboards, the skeletal structure failing all flesh as it melted into each other. Oh, I could sense my next key getting sticky, and I could barely smell its rot. Perhaps because I had became that rot, and let it drench my body and gut. And every inch, it was inside my house, and now, inside me, curiosity choking me. I should have just kept writing. I should have put down that drink, for now my flesh was stewing in the attic with that thing, and in its lap my typewriter still typing, keys sticking, liquor sloshing, and organs pumping. I collapsed into it. I could no longer breathe. No matches left. Just my flesh and its flesh.